Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 70 of Rapid Fate Online, and this one is titled Exploring the Sea Bottom. Just quickly, this next chapter starts just after they've completed a little bit of intimate bedtime. So there's a whole chapter that's been completely deleted out, and it starts with them already in the bed, just in case you were confused. A soft breeze swirled in from the open back door, and you broke from the kiss to look out there, in awe of the picture-perfect sight beyond the white netted curtains that were crowning your bed frame. "You want to go for a swim in the nudie?" you asked Butterfly, who had sat up and back to give you some room to move. "Okay," he replied hesitantly. You smiled and sat up, getting out from under him and skipping to the back door. The view completely opened out to the ocean with not another human soul in sight, and without thinking, you ran for the rails and climbed up them. "Yin? Yin!" Butterfly called urgently with fear when he watched your bare ass climb up onto the top rung, then jump. "Whee!" you shouted with joyous abandon, cupping your knees in your hands as you bombed from the top rail into the perfect clear waters below. Butterfly rushed to the deck to look over and make sure you were okay, which you were, now happily half submerged in the coolish liquid. "Come in," you called to him. I think I'll take the stairs," he replied, feeling a little vulnerable without his clothes and chain whip sword to rely on. You splashed around and swam over to him once he'd entered the water, then flung your arms around his neck and planted a heavy kiss on his lips. "How lovely is this place?" I am concerned about monsters," he replied, glancing around the clear waters. "Nah," you replied with a carefree hand flick. "They're only in the deeper waters. Come on, let's explore. Can we breathe underwater, I wonder?" You took a gulp of air in and then sank down under the water level, feeling the liquid rush around your face. "I should be able to breathe under here because it's a fake reality, right? I'm not actually underwater." Fighting the urge to hold your breath for the time under the water, you hesitantly let it out and watched the bubbles manifest from your lips and wiggle their way up to the surface. "Okay, now or never," you steeled yourself. Slowly you breathed in and found that you could do it. "Oh, it's definitely a mind over matter thing," you thought triumphantly. With a giant grin on your face, you swam back up a bit and popped your head out of the water to look at Butterfly. "I am a fish. You shall now refer to me as Fish-sama." "Why would I be calling you Fish-sama?" Butterfly asked curiously. "Because I can breathe underwater," you exclaimed enthusiastically. "Come on, try it." Butterfly looked at you dubiously, swishing his hands back and forth just under the surface of the water to keep himself afloat. "See, watch," you encouraged, ducking your head back under the water. Instinctively you held your breath, but then reminded yourself that you could breathe and let it go. Slowly you drew a breath in, then swam up to the surface again. "Please, it works, I promise. I want to go and explore underwater. Just come under with me and let your breath go, and then breathe in slowly." Butterfly glanced down at the water, then gingerly let his lower half of his face sink down under it until his mouth and nose were just under the waterline. "Breathe out," you directed him. He did so, bubbles gurgling up and popping as they reached the surface. "Okay, good, now breathe in." He stared at you, fighting every fibre of his being to try and override the voice in his head that was screaming at him to not do it. Finally he breathed in and his eyes shot wide open. "See?" you exclaimed with a happy laugh. "It's fine." "Whoa," he replied, bringing his mouth up to speak. "That's really something." "Let's go and explore. I've always wanted to be able to breathe underwater," you said excitedly, diving down and swimming to the bottom of the ocean, where the soft white sand lay in ripples along the floor bed. Butterfly followed you down, looking around for any foe, but there was absolutely nothing as far as the eye could see. This part of the ocean seemed desolate. Slowly breathing in, you got to the bottom of the ocean and pointed in the distance and started to slowly walk along the sand. Butterfly opted to swim and stay just behind you, half for the reason of being able to watch your back should a sea creature sneak up, and the other half, he was heavily distracted by your ass. Ahead you could see a line of coral forming and made straight for it, grinning when teams of fish started to become visible. "This is so gorgeous," you thought as you happily found a gap in the coral walling and walked through to the other side. Butterfly, feeling uneasy about being unarmed underwater, called forth a small dagger to hold in his hand so that he could use it if anything tried to attack you two, but you were far too spellbound by the surroundings to have cared about what your husband was doing behind you. Once on the other side of the coral wall, your eyes made out a sunken ship that was lying broken on its side a little way away, where the water was slightly darker. "Treasure!" you gasped internally, climbing over rocks and gently swishing fish out of the way as you walked towards it. It wasn't that you didn't think about any enemies lurking around, it was just that you were so confident in Naked Butterfly's skills that you didn't even think to look around before approaching the shipwreck. From nearby, in a dark underwater cave, a pair of sinister yellow eyes watched you and your man get to the shipwreck, bubbles shimmering lightly from its nostrils as it slowly slithered out of its hiding place and ducked into a hole at the bow of the broken ship. Oh, look out, there ends chapter 70, stay tuned for chapter 71.